Hello everyone, Mark here with Marx Max Muscle, and welcome to the Battle of the German Giants. Markus Ruhl versus Gunter Schlierkamp. And of course, this is in co-promotion with Mikey's Strength and Fitness. Of course, he'll be doing the exact same comparison. Gunter Schlierkamp versus Markus Ruhl, only he'll be using his own footage. But of course, we could have different outcomes, who knows? Either way, we're going to have two different outlooks on this mass monster matchup. And here in the front, relaxed, and I have to say, Gunter Schlierkamp, of all people, is using aesthetics to get us just a slight edge. And I'm here to tell you, this is awful close. Look at the amount of muscle on this just mountain of a man in Markus Ruhl. He is much more muscular, I will say. But like I said, that aesthetic flow, he's much more polished, is Gunter Schlierkamp. So Markus Ruhl is down 1 point heading into the front double bicep pose. In which case he will be tying things up against big Gunter Schlierkamp. Look at that hard graininess of those biceps on Markus Ruhl. I mean, yes, Gunter has some guns as well. They're both big German bodybuilders und gut and flexings. And for those of you who didn't realize how much larger big Gunter was than Markus Ruhl, have a look at this actual comparison. He is much larger. But in both cases, doesn't really matter. Markus Ruhl gets this pose, in my opinion. Alright, let's go into the next pose. And here we are with our first most muscular in this mass monster matchup. Of course, I'm gonna just tweak my judging just so. Of course, I might be doing some aesthetic matches after these ones with a couple of aesthetic bodybuilders, but these are mass monsters, so we're gonna judge it as a mass monster matchup. And normally the aesthetics of Gunter here would be winning over, but I just think that sheer upper body mass muscle. Look at those big delts on Markus Ruhl. I think it's enough for a slight victory. But on to the next pose. And what a pose this is for both of these gentlemen. Now there was plenty of other different ones of Markus Ruhl. He appeared to be much larger, a little bit too large in the upper body. He tilts a little bit too much, I think. Faces forward. But this one here, he seemed to be snapping it just so. But no matter what type of a comparison I did, there's just no way that Markus Ruhl can compete with big Gunter Schlierkamp. Not in this side chest pose, no way. That big giant bow in that chest looks like he's straight from the 70s, big Gunter. So it's all tied up. Let's head into the front lat spread. And this match is going back and forth like a ping pong ball. This one, absolutely no question, goes to Markus Ruhl. I don't even really care. Gunter might be in better condition. I don't even know about that. But either way, it doesn't matter. Look at that structure. Look at those lats. He has really filled out that lat region, has Markus Ruhl. But kudos to Gunter. Look at those legs. Amazing. But, like I said, back and forth, back and forth. Let's head into the next pose. And here we go with yet another most muscular pose. Of course, this is a mass monster matchup, so we feature a couple of extra most musculars. And just for these particular poses, we're going to vote a little bit different. We're going to go for the more muscular guy, and in this case, Markus Ruhl seems to have the edge. Look at those delts. Now, yes, Gunter is very crisp here. He looks much more conditioned. But here in a mass monster matchup, we're going to tweak our voting like I said, and the muscleman wins. Markus Ruhl edges a victory over the more conditioned man in this pose. Let's go to the next one. And of course, we will revert back to our traditional judging techniques for all of the other poses besides the most musculars. And I have to say, both of these guys might as well just stayed the fuck home for this pose here because it looks like a car accident in both cases. Terrible. Now, if I'm forced to judge, then yes, Markus Ruhl wins for sure. hands down. Look at that side tricep. But I mean ugly, ugly, ugly. Now, Gunter's no better. He looks like he's about to topple over. Of course, his waistline does look much better. But I mean, there's no tricep there to speak of. Just an accident in both cases. And at the end of this pose, Markus Ruhl has secured a nice little lead in this one. But far from over, let's have a look at the first back shot. And man, oh man, is this a good battle. Wow. Two great backs. Never underestimate the back development of either of these men. Now, normally I would say Markus Ruhl 9 times out of 10 would beat Big Gunter in the rear lat spread. But here, I believe this is the event where Gunter actually toppled the great Ronnie Coleman. He came in so crisp. Look at those glutes. Now, yes, Gunter's big waistline seems to be much larger from behind here. But as I said, that conditioning of those glutes and even the lower back, the conditioning, I think it's enough to most certainly give Gunter the victory here in this rear lat spread. What a battle, though. All right, rear double bicep. And Gunter is really gaining some ground back after all those losses to Markus Ruhl. He has a better back development, that's for sure, in my opinion. Those glutes are much tighter. Much more crisp conditioning. That makes all of the difference when you turn around and display the backs. So, this competition's far from over yet. Gunter managed to make a comeback. Let's go to the next pose. Yes, the ever-exposing ab and thigh pose. Markus Ruhl is big. There's no doubt about that. Another thing that's for sure is that he has a massive set of abs. Look at those giant six-pack pieces. Gunter Schlierkamp doesn't have the best set of abs either. But wow, his thighs are very impressive here in this shot. And I would say is definitely enough to take the win in this. Now, I've seen big Markus Ruhl snap a different version of the ab and thigh, but in my opinion, it's more of a most muscular. And this competition has already had enough most musculars as is. Or has it? Gunter is taking this one, tying it up. And we're leaving it to one last pose, and guess what it is? A most muscular. And what a fitting way to end a mass monster matchup. And it's all over. Stick a fork in it. It's done. Here is your winner, Markus Ruhl. That's right, I'm giving this one to Markus Ruhl. Gunter Schlierkamp is giving us everything he has in this pose, but he is just not wide enough. Look at the width of Markus Ruhl's big delts. It's incredible. He looked absolutely alien-like in this event, Markus Ruhl. He placed second to Jay Cutler. I believe he definitely should have beat Jay Cutler, perhaps. I don't know. I don't want to get into that. But he's definitely winning over Gunter Schlierkamp here in this pose. And that's enough to edge a slight victory. Now, he just won by 1 point. So there's definitely room for a different opinion on this. And hey, that's just what you can get, is a different opinion on this. Switch over to Mikey's Strength and Fitness's channel right about now. And he's doing this exact comparison with his own pictures, of course. And either way you look at it, you're going to get two different outlooks on things. So you can look forward to more of these matchups of guys that failed to make the gladiator round tournaments. Could get exciting. Hope you enjoyed this one, and have a good day.